It is the Foamy Heads Happy Hour. Mitch and Rich are on the mics today. Just drinking a beer. Nothing too formal, Mitch.
Nah, it's for Christmas, it snuck up. It came by too quick. It showed up too quick. Yeah, it's something.
I don't get. Well, 2020's been wild to begin with. Like, who would have thought we would have even made it to Christmas this year? We've been through all kinds of shit this year, from lots of famous people dying, planes crashing and falling out of the sky. We've been through a financial crisis. We've been through a disease pandemic, and and won't get political, but we've been through a lot of political stuff too.
Oh yeah.
But we made it to December.
It's been a year.
This is probably going to be one of our last recordings before the Christmas season, just before Christmas time, because next week is Christmas.
Very true. We've got a recording that you've done solo that we're going to release probably before this one. So, and then starting off the year in 2021, we'll probably release backdated episodes that we meant to get out. And just, life happens and stuff got behind. And the interviews, I think we both thought, we talked briefly, but we've both been slammed with work and life and whatnot. Mm-hmm. But we wanted those interviews out first. So we went ahead and sent them on. And we're working on getting more for next year because they're just so fun.
I think 2021 is going to bring a good lineup. We had some good interviews though this year. We've done, we did Living Waters, and we did Crazy Gnome, and we've done Proper Sake in Nashville. So we've done 3 good interviews. Probably all in the last half of the year too.
Yeah, it's been awesome. We finally got our feet wet with interviews, and one on-site location, the others up in Zoom, but on-site's where it's at. It was just so much fun to go there in person and see them and talk. So
I hate that our mics went out on site, with Crazy Gnome, but we captured their content, which was good. That's what's important, but it's just something that we need to just focus on a little bit more next time. But it was a blast to be on site with Crazy Gnome.
Yes. It's one of those things, like a pro tip would be bring a headset.
Yep.
And check your audio. Do a little dry run, test it out.
Whatever. Who cares?
Yeah. We were there to, enjoy and get the word out a bit best we could, and shit happens. So we'll be back for a round 2 because they're going to have all new brews. So
yeah, I'm excited. What are we drinking tonight?
Yeah, dude, I'm excited about getting into what I've got tonight.
What do you got? I'll let you go first then. You seem to be giddy tonight about something, so I'm going to let you roll first.
It's been a while since we've both had this one, and we both got surprised by this beer in particular because it was a Growler USA beer that surprised us. The waitress hooked us up with it. You probably know it.
Yeah, I already know what's coming. It's bourbon barrel aged.
It is.
Oh, I know what it is. Saugatuck?
It's Saugatuck.
Oh, okay.
Bourbon barrel aged imperial Neapolitan milk stout.
Oh, so good.
Now, I'm not a fan of the normal Neapolitan milk stout. It's okay. It's not something I'm going to seek out, but that bourbon barrel aged by Saugatuck of the Neapolitan milk stout is one I'll pick up anytime I see it.
It puts it over the top, that bourbon barrel aged flavor, because I think the only time we may have had the regular Neapolitan milk stout, but I think that day when we tried it while we were at Growler USA, we did ended up being the nitro version, I think, and we were like, it's just not what we were looking for. And then they came back with the right one, which was the barrel aged, and it was CO2, and that ended up being the baller of the day. And that's what you're drinking right now, Mitch.
Yes.
So jealous.
It's gonna be wonderful, and I hope to find more. I haven't really kept my eye out this year for this, so they do distribute here, so surely we should see it almost anywhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I need to check Total Bev over on Thompson Lane, because they have a lot of Saugatuck breweries, and I wonder if
Richard. I popped the cap, and all I smell is Neapolitan ice cream, but with a bourbon flair. Oh,
Oh,
the aromatics on it should be a candle.
10.5% ABV. Aged 9 months in a combination of Woodford Reserve and Heaven Hill barrels.
Mm.
I'm looking at that beer. I can hear it. Oh.
Yes. What you got on deck tonight?
Oh, I am drinking a. So this is. It's kind of a. It's a weird plug I'm about to do, but follow me here. I'm drinking Midnight Run from Bearded Iris. It's the Imperial Stout with peanut butter, cocoa, vanilla, and lactose.
Ooh.
And normally, well, I should say, I'm a V Fudge fan. Anything that Bearded Iris does when they come out with V Fudge, it's a heavy imperial stout with loads of chocolate and lactose and vanilla. It's just everything that they make is good, and V Fudge is probably one of my favorites. I remember having the very first V Fudge back a few years ago, and it was fudgy and chocolatey and thick and syrupy, and it was so good. This actually, I've had this before. This reminds me of that with peanut butter in it.
Ooh.
So it's around that time of the year that V Fudge gets released. I don't have any from prior years aging, but I was able to get some of this Midnight Run, which after having one or two tastes like V Fudge to me, just with added peanut butter. So I'm really excited to get into this one.
Yeah.
8.08% ABV.
I forgot to do that. So this is a 2019 Neapolitan Milk Stout, 10.5 ABV here.
So good.
What's weird is I just poured it and I sent you a text. Look at that weird foam. It's like, so the foamy head dissipated pretty quickly with this one. And
haven't seen it come through yet.
Oh, okay. My phone's been kind of shitty. So, and I do have a VPN on for some reason, so that could be why. But
there it goes. That's weird.
It's concentrated to one side of the glass and retaining. I'm about to poke it.
Yeah, it almost looks like, of course, I'm sure you'll be posting that to our Foamy Heads Instagram page, but in looking at it, it looks like there's no foamy head at all in the beer, except for maybe a little around the rim of the glass. But then most of the foam is concentrated in one pocket in the corner. It almost looks like when you're ordering a pizza and there's one big bubble on the edge of the crust. That's exactly what it looks like to me. Pop it.
Oh my god. So this is where if we had a brewer on the line, they could tell us. So I'll try to redo what I just did for you here, because we're using Zoom today to connect. Yep. But okay, you can kind of see the collection of foam here.
What is that?
It's like an amoeba.
That
now it's just all over my finger.
I don't know what that. It looks like a big old bowl of snot.
Yeah,
like
man.
Right there on the end.
It's attached to me now. It's becoming a part of me. Nope. But yeah, dude, I don't know what that is. If we had enough people chiming into a live feed of it, this would be a great time to be like, should I drink it? drink.
I think the answer is yes. I don't care how many people might say no. That's going to be something you drink. I would not shy away from a bourbon barrel-aged Neapolitan Imperial Milk Stout from Saugatuck, even if there was a little bit of residue in it. Can you pour it out? Is it thick enough to where you can pour it out?
I did pour out the remaining bits, because now it's kind of like oil and water. It's separating, and now it's in its own little oil deposits across the liquid. So I pulled it out just so I can maybe have a flavor test of it later to be like, what is this? Just a concentrated, like, did the milk stout sit idle for so long that it just coagulated and the deposits coagulated or something? I don't know. It's not blood, so I don't know.
Basically, Saugatuck, we have some questions for you.
Yeah, that's right. So let's talk next year, 2021.
Yeah, exactly. We're coming for Saugatuck. So getting the nose on mine real quick, I'm getting lots of peanut butter and lots of chocolate. I'm not getting any vanilla on the nose, but most of the time vanilla is just a a taste profile, not necessarily something that you would smell. No foamy head very much. I mean, bearded Irish stouts don't necessarily. They normally do foam up and then they dissipate very quickly, and that's exactly what this one did. And as you can see, I've got the bearded Irish glass to match it.
Hell yeah.
Well,
I love their, I don't know what the glass is called, but it's like a stiletto glass to me.
mm-hmm. It's just a tall cylindrical glass.
Yeah.
It's got their logo on one end, on one side, or their words, their name, and then their logo on the other.
Yeah. Man, the nose on mine smells wonderful. And I bet you smell that peanut butter on yours, huh?
Oh man, I love it. Let's get into it, Mitch.
All right. Woo! I think I got a little bit of the amoeba on that one. Little chunk.
Most of it comes out, and I'm sure in the first sip, then you're good after that.
There's a few remainders floating at the top here I didn't see. But it's kind of like kombucha. It's healthy for you, right?
I don't even like kombucha.
I like tapioca pearls and like the chia seeds and shit, but kombucha, there's some out there that have just been like the size of a placenta or something in the glass, and I can't do that. It
looks gross.
Yeah.
Almost looks like one of those, almost looks like a squid or like a stingray or something floating around in the bottom.
I have to sting you.
I'm getting into...
Damn. It's good, man. The barrel age, I think, is showing a more dominant taste after a year with this one.
Yeah.
Because I remember when we got it off tap, it was almost a melody of bourbon and Neapolitan flavors.
Mm-hmm.
And this one's a little more heavy on that bourbon taste, and it's overpowering the Neapolitan right now.
Ah.
So, it also, I just got it out of the fridge, so It could just be cold. So
I was about to ask if it was warmed up yet or not, because it could be those sweeter flavors kind of start showing through.
It's like I've got a little beer brain ninja in the back of my head. So when I'm starting to talk about a beer that's a stout, it'll eventually jab me saying, it's not to the room temperature. Yeah, it's not right.
Well, you can drink it. You drink it over the next few minutes, it'll get warmer and the taste will change. So you kind of get to experience it from drinking it cold until it's warmed up to a little bit above room temperature, or below room temperature, I should say.
That's true.
10.4. See, I was looking yours up. You said it was 10.5% ABV, combination aged Woodford and Heaven Hill barrels. Average rating is 4.1 on Untapped. That's pretty high.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
What did I give it?
I want to say we did 3.75s, maybe a 4.
I gave it a lot higher than that. I gave it a 4.5.
Oh yeah. Well, on tap, right? Or off
That's
tap?
true. This is true. All of these have been on Untapped, so I have no idea. And that could be the differentiator for you as well.
Yeah.
Unless your last experience is not as bourbon barrel aged, but it's more of a harmony of multiple flavors mixing together. Barrel aged beers typically do very well on draft.
Yeah.
Could be your bottle.
Could be, and it's been around the block a little. It might. I doubt the cap got beat up much, but there's a little residue under the cap, but that's normal with most beers. I don't know, man. I'm letting it warm up a little bit, but I'm just stoked for the new year, and we're getting closer and closer to getting our site together, and the beers we talk about, we'll be able to translate that to a little post as well. So I'm really looking forward to doing some brief explanations about the beers we really appreciate. We're not going to do it about every beer. That'd take forever.
But we drink too much.
Yeah. We can't wine and dine while typing up a whole report about it.
That's what Untapped is for. You can simply check it in real fast and keep moving.
Yeah. I'm thinking our style with the blog's going to be, here's the link to the Untapped, and here are my thoughts, and it's just going to be a quick spiel of things, but it's not going to be. If I'm drunk still, I might make a story out of it. But it's just one of those things. It's going to be very freestyle on how we write our content on the site. So I'm looking forward to it.
Oh yeah, looking at the site from the images that you sent a couple weeks ago, it's looking really good so far. Just the preliminary stuff, so I'm excited to be able to get that up and running. We're going to be able to have blog posts on there. Of course, I'm sure there'll be links to our episodes and like our social media site, but there's going to be pictures, and then eventually we'll be able to start posting up places we're going to be in on-site events and stuff like that. So it's going to be just a fun next couple of years as we start to roll this out, Mitch.
I'm excited, and just a new year awaits us, full of possibility. I can't wait to also start pulling in some sake. Not as much of a foamy head there, but it makes you feel foamy headed. So I think it qualifies.
I think it'd be fun to get Byron back on the show.
Hell yeah.
Once we get some. He was very generous in his information and sharing with us, and not to mention Proper Sake makes some bomb ass shit.
Yeah, they do. Beer and their sake. And they've got styles of sake you can only get from them here. So, if you've never had sake before, open up your eyes to them, because all you usually can get is the traditional junmai, ginjo, junmai, and some basic kind of just very, very clear and clean sakis. They have their own crisp and dry taste, but go Yamahai. Go try Proper Sake.
There's more to sake than just the warm, clear, filtered stuff that you get at a hibachi restaurant or something like that when you go.
Yeah, that hot sake is only good hot.
Yep. I'm determined to get my chilled bottle of sake out from behind that ice sheet.
Ooh, yeah.
In my freezer upstairs. When I get that out, it's going to be good.
Yeah, that's one I want to pull Byron into too, because he might have an aged sake to share with us too if he's up for it. But apparently, aged sakes are a thing, but they're not a thing here, and not really a thing in Japan either. They have them, and they're cheap because nobody wants aged sake, it seems. So, but I do. I want to try it because the flavor profile gets on some of them gets more umami, if I remember our conversation with Byron right. So it'll be super interesting to talk about all that.
But let's hoping that 2021 is just a better year in general. I know we'll have a lot of content lined up for next year as well. I think we did some good stuff this year. I think next year is going to be even better, and I just hope from a worldwide standpoint that things can kind of start getting back to normal, because doing interviews in person is much better than doing them over a Zoom. Of course, you got to adapt, Mitch.
Yep.
Got to adapt. And when we, able to speak with Living Waters and speak with Proper Sake, having to do it through a Zoom session is just because that's what the world calls for right now. Those would be fun to do in person, and it'd be fun to meet up with those guys and do an in-person sit-down beer drinking session with them. But that's not what 2020 called for.
Right. Oh, and one other, the first interview we ever had this year with Living Waters, we've already got something lined up for next year. It's just a matter of putting the dates together. And, we've talked about it. I'm not going to say anything about it more other than I'm looking forward to it, because it's going to cover a couple different worlds when it comes to, the beers that they make, and it might be stout oriented, but also the coffees there. So
yes,
I guess I kind of dove my foot in a little bit to allude, foreshadow a little bit.
That'll be a fun session.
Yeah, man. And I really hope we can do it on site, because it'll be great to be in-house there, where all the coffee can be maintained at the bar rather than, having to do something maybe that's all pre-made and poured. It'd be nice to be able to do them as needed. I don't know if there's like a certain temperature or a certain time after it's ground that it's better or what. And especially with beers. If they're on tap, I want them on tap.
Yep.
So, oh, excuse me,
100% agree.
the bourbon's kicking now.
Yeah.
But
I'm letting mine's warmed up a little bit, and more of the, I guess I don't know if it's because my palate has kind of been a little bit more used to the peanut butter by now, but as the beer's warmed up, some of the other flavors are coming through. You know, it was very heavy on the peanut butter and dark chocolate at first. Now I'm getting some of the vanilla and a little bit more of the sweeter side of the chocolate spectrum, and a little less of the peanut butter. So it's a very good beer, especially when it warms up. This is a beer that I like when it's cold all the way to when it gets warm, because it's almost two different beers as I'm drinking it, but both are just as enjoyable.
Yeah. I almost had an idea for today, because this is kind of our Christmas kind of release, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was going to impersonate a Santa that I would want to be my Santa if it was a beer Santa.
A beer Santa.
Yeah, I had a fun thought in the car, and then work kind of deflated it from me. And now it's hard. It's like the whole speech I had has kind of faded. But, you know, creativity died whenever I had to start working.
Yeah, that's how it normally happens. When you get paid to be creative, you somehow are not as creative.
Right. So, you know, maybe next year we'll plan out some holiday specific things with a little gimmick, not like throughout the whole thing, but I would probably put on a little bit of a voice for something. But it'd be fun to bring a little more personality of the season in eventually. But I don't even have a Santa hat today. I don't have shit, you know. Yeah. And I would love to put video to our audio, but
that'll be coming, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, but
you got a dope ass hat on today, though.
It's trying.
Not necessarily a Santa Claus hat, but it's a dope ass hat.
It is a beer hat.
Mm-hmm.
It's a for anyone familiar with the hat shop in town in Nashville, it's a Gordon Brother hat. And I got this thing maybe 2012, if the internet's telling me right, the old Google. And it's an artist series line they did, and it's got two guys with giant beer mugs on the front, but the hat's bill underneath is full of like graffiti sketch like stuff and stencil art, all just crammed into the space. So, and it continues into the hat as well. But it's a nice little hat. It's a happy hour is the title of it. But
nice.
Yeah, you can probably see it, but there's the two guys, giant mugs.
Mm-hmm.
And of course the underbill is my favorite part. It's got the mug with a foamy head, aka what we are on the show.
Yep.
So it's been cool, man. This whole year we did more, so we reached our goal. And just, you know, we didn't get all the releases we wanted. Like Living Waters releases. All you people here in Nashville are supporting the shit out of Living Waters, and I respect that. Yeah, we can't get our hands on it even.
Give us an opportunity to get some Living Waters, like, you know, and of course, you know, the Baker and the Beard collab that they did. Sold out before we could even get online and buy it. Like, it was so wild. And we've talked about that many times before, but they did their first barrel age release, and that sold out fast as fuck. Like, it was way too, couldn't even. Well,
they came out with Pomplamoose or something a while ago, and we were an hour too late for that shit too. Mm-hmm. And apparently it sold out in under a minute. So respect to the locals, you know.
Yeah, and that's what you want.
Supporting that business. I love it.
Absolutely.
But I hate it too. I wanted one. So, you know, we'll have to really be on our toes for the next releases. But the other thing is they just released their Mythos hint today on Instagram. That Mythos Society, not quite a mug club, but you could call it that. It's like a bottle release club, if I remember right. But because you'll see posts that people post about it occasionally, and it's like a bottle It's a specific something that was brewed for the people invested. So, oh, excuse me, definitely keep your eye out for signing up for that.
Oh
I
yeah.
know we're going to try this year, and apparently it's happening soon. So,
I'd be excited if anytime I can get a rare release from Living Waters Brewer, I'm down.
yeah, man, same here. Just total respect to him, um, both the brewer and the coffee.
They're
The
both great
coffee,
guys.
yes. Uh, just can't put it into words when after half a beer apparently, but they've been nothing but hospitable when we're there. They take care of us, and they were awesome to talk to. So,
Well,
uh,
you had Bearded Iris coming out, and they kind of changed the beer craft beer game in Nashville because you didn't have breweries releasing a new beer every week, every other week. Bearded Iris was kind of like the first ones to do that, and
mhm.
then they came along, and then Southern Grist came along after that, and they expanded that even more. They were doing sours and stouts and IPAs, and they were just doing all kinds of stuff constantly, small batch stuff.
Yeah,
I view Living Waters as kind of like the next generation of that. They came along and they fused coffee and beer together under one roof,
hmm,
and then when they both realized that, people love drinking both at once, they collab and then they put something together and it's even better. You can have a coffee imperial stout or a coffee porter, or they make killer IPAs. Their New
hmm,
England IPAs are amazing also. I view Living Waters is kind of like the next brewery in Nashville that's keeping that trend going of great Nashville beers.
yeah. Every beer is like jazz in your mouth.
Mm. Mm.
Don't take it out of context, but you
Nope.
can. You can if you
Yeah.
want.
Speaking of jazz in my mouth, this beer is really sweet at this point. It's
Yeah,
starting to
mine.
wind down. I'm down to the last couple of sips.
Same here. It's gotten sweeter. The I'm not tasting as much Neapolitan. The three little flavors of that ice cream, strawberry, chocolate, vanilla. Is that right?
Yep.
For some reason, I started to forget what that was. The color. It's color coded on the bottle. I could have looked at that. But yeah, I'm not really tasting any of those profiles. It's mainly sweet, kind of marshmallowy, and a lot of bourbon, and it kind of has now settled on my tongue,
Mm.
back of the throat, kind of. It's definitely lacquered,
Mm.
lacquered the orifice.
I'm jealous, man. I wish I had one of those bottles sitting around. I did not think you were going to pop out that one tonight just from, I didn't know what you were going to drink, but I didn't think it was going to be a bourbon billet. You're picking through your glass. You think you still got some more in there?
Oh yeah, I was just trying to see if I could grab that last amoeba and have it attach. There's one little floaty in there. It's like when you have a eye floaty and it's in your vision, your peripherals.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that when you're looking at the glass. You're like, come on.
Oh,
It's definitely like a chia seed or something. It's gloppy. So I'm curious what that's about.
we will inquire
Yeah.
with Sagatuck.
But the before we sign off and enjoy the rest of our day, this was our happy hour to
Mm-hmm.
kind of just think about briefly where all we went this year. If there's any shout outs you want to do, I guess now's the time as we wrap.
Gosh. Well, I'd be amiss to not shout out, the people that gave us the time of day during our interviews, and that would be Living Waters and Proper Sake and Crazy Gnome. They realize that we're all in this together.
Yep.
We're not trying to, it would be fun to make this a full-time gig eventually. Right now, it's just all about having fun, drinking beer, and furthering the craft beer agenda,
Yep.
in which everybody wins in that case. So shout out to all of those guys. Um, Mitch, hasn't been an easy year for you. I understand, it's been tough on everybody this year, but
Yep.
being able to just sit down and take 30, 45 minutes, once a week, every other week out of the day, and sometimes you got to work around my schedule, having a new kid and stuff like that. And you've always been really quick to adapt for me. I
Oh, yeah.
appreciate that. So I'll shout out to you as well. And Allison, because this affects her as well, right? Your wife.
True.
She's not seeing you right now. We're here hanging out instead.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, I think and I look forward to many, many more craft beers in 2021.
That's true. Yeah. Thanks for the shout outs. I appreciate it. I appreciate you and that awesome ornament your wife made for the foamy heads and you.
Yes.
That was
Mm-hmm.
awesome.
Yeah.
And definitely anyone who's let us talk to them, Byron, Ryan, and Bennett. And for whatever reason, I keep forgetting the brewer's name at Crazy Gnome, but that his brother's Bennett. And I'm going blank right now, but you might help me out, and we'll circle back to that. But Crazy Gnome, awesome. The on site worked out great. We stayed socially distanced and everything.
Mm-hmm.
We're probably looking at doing more of those next year, socially distanced wise, as everything calms down and hopefully returns to easier, on locale kind of settings. But who knows? And yeah, I mean, everyone else that's just helped in any way, it's been awesome. So next year, I think is going to be a bigger year for us.
Yeah.
And if you're listening to this and you run a brewery, work at a brewery, drink beer, we're not shying away from talking. We just do a crappy job at trying to get out there and ask you to talk to us. So, you can always contact us at anywhere you see our name. So, we got Facebook, Instagram, we got an email. It's thefoamyheads@gmail.com. And we're going to be getting a website, thefoamyheads.com or foamyheads.com. But, all of this is going to come together where your contact's just going to be super easy. A few people we're looking at is possibly at the beginning of the first quarter of the year. I really want to contact Rheingeist, see if we
Mm-hmm.
can't get a talk with them. Locally, we got Yazoo, we still haven't talked to, and Blackstone, and the list goes on. We got so many here in Nashville now; it's insane.
Yeah.
So we're definitely going to be hitting up a lot of people this next year to talk. So look forward to it.
Nashville is a great city to be drinking beer.
Yeah, it is.
But even if you're not in Nashville, you should be drinking beer anyway. So there's really no excuse. If you're not drinking beer, start drinking beer. If you are drinking beer, keep drinking beer. And if you've never had craft beer before, you're probably under a rock at this point. But we're not going to shame you for it. Go ahead, drink some craft beer, find a local brewery in your community, support them through this holiday season, and we'll see everybody in 2021 when hopefully the world will be a better place. Cheers to you guys.
Happy holidays.
Peace.